one, you've got a pair of bogeys. 12 o'clock.
I gotta give you your dream shot. I'm gonna send you up against the best. You two characters are going to Top Gun. For 5 weeks, you're gonna fly against the best fighter pilots in the world.
There are no points for second place. Want to know who the best is? That's him, Iceman. That's the way he flies, ice cold. I flew with the old man. You're a lot like he was. Only better.
So you're the one.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Maverick.
Maverick? Does your mother not like you or something?
What's your problem, Kazansky? Every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe. I am dangerous.
He's a wild card. Flies by the seat of his pants.
You made a bad choice.
I got a family to think about. I can't afford to blow this.
You had to go into battle. Would you want him with you?
Just don't know.
How long?
It'll take 10 minutes.
This thing will be over in 2 minutes. Get on it.
Hello and welcome to M-Wire Movie Week in Review, brought to you by the Geekcaster Radio Network. I am one of your hosts, T.F. Joe and Mike, and joining me today is Gary Godso from What's on Joe Mind. Hello.
TFGI Mike, how about them Patriots?
Oh, God, you had to bring that up, didn't you? Bastard.
How about them Giants?
Death to the Manning family.
You know you got beat by a Manning and a Manningham. How about that? All that trash talking, man. I just gotta.
Okay, I'll give the Giants this. At least their coaching staff didn't cheat this year by pulling out winning Super Bowl gear early.
But they actually did put it on their website. It actually leaked on their website like a day or so early. It said World Champs.
Well, and that's fine. I don't go to the New York Giants website. I don't give a shit. But if I see it on television, to me, that's cheating. I don't care what team it is. Doesn't matter. It could be the Patriots. It could be the Red Sox. Until a winner is decided, you don't bring out the winning team's gear until the game is at 1 second or 0 seconds. Brady, 4 years ago, had 12 seconds left to make a play, and the Giants were all standing around like, whoa, we don't want to do nothing.
Well, there's going to be some happy underprivileged village and some third world country that will be receiving Patriots championship gear, and you should be happy about that. But now that football season's over, the truce is the feud between
baseball.
The feud between me and you is over because I am a Red Sox fan, so we can cheer on the Red Sox. We need to give Beachhead Mike crap on our show because he is the Yankees fan. So.
Oh, what the hell? I used to like him now. He used to be cool. Now he sucks. Yankees fan. What the hell? All right, so we are here to talk about movies. Originally here in M-Wire, episode 80 to 89 was supposed to be 80s month where we're going to pump these all out in 1 or 2 months, and that has not happened. It's taken us like 6 months to a year to get to this episode. And
but it seems like just yesterday we did Days of
Thunder. Yep. It was actually, when the hell was that? That was
2 episodes ago.
Yeah. Well, it was before Christmas, I think.
It was.
Yeah, it was like back in October. But no, Gary's here. Justin from What's on Joe Mind was supposed to be here, but I guess he was too busy or just didn't care.
No, Justin, to his credit, is he's obviously very yeah. He's got the old fatherhood and the husband thing going on. He's also still doing some school and also has his own website and everything. Yeah. And we were kind of stretching him out. So with our podcast, but he wanted to be here, but couldn't be here. But he will be here hopefully when you guys do Rise of Cobra.
Yeah, that's gonna be a train wreck of an episode.
Oh, come on, man.
All right, so we are here in episode 86 to talk about that classic 80s film, Top Gun. And without any further ado, to set the stage, we're going to kick it over to JT from Saskatoon for the Just the Facts.
Hey guys, JT from Saskatoon here with today's Just the Facts. Once again, we are here to celebrate not only one of the most popular action movies of the 1980s, but one that still holds up to this day. A film that proved action films were more than just explosions with an awesome soundtrack. Get ready to kick the tires and light the fires. This is Top Gun. Top Gun follows United States Naval Aviator Lieutenant Pete Maverick Mitchell, a reckless and cocky fighter pilot stationed on board the USS Enterprise aircraft carrier. After an encounter with enemy MiGs leaves his wingman Cougar shaken and unable to continue flying, Maverick and his radar operator, Lieutenant Nick Goose Bradshaw, are sent to Top Gun, the Navy's Strike Fighter Tactics Instructor School, in order to gain the necessary training to lead their air squadron. The day before their training starts, Maverick and Goose celebrate at a bar in San Diego. With his partner's assistance, Maverick tries to woo a woman at the end of the bar by singing the song You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin', but is unsuccessful. Maverick gets a shock the next day when he discovers that same woman is Charlotte Charlie Blackwood, one of Top Gun's civilian instructors. Maverick impresses many of the Navy instructors, but his reckless flying also doesn't win him many friends. Chief among his rivals is Lieutenant Tom Iceman Kazansky, an extremely cool and professional aviator who takes an instant dislike to Maverick. Unfortunately, near the end of the program, disaster strikes. Maverick and Iceman are teamed up to attack one of their instructors, Lieutenant Commander Rick Jester Heatherly, during a training exercise. And during that exercise, Iceman has had enough of Maverick's bravado and breaks off from the attack. The jet wash from his aircraft causes Maverick's jet to flame out and go into an uncontrollable dive, so Maverick and Goose both punch out. However, Goose is directly ejected into the canopy and is killed instantly. Although a board of inquiry clears him of any wrongdoing, Maverick blames himself and he loses his fighting spirit, even considering leaving the program. He is stopped by Commander Mike Viper Metcalf, who flew with his dad, and reveals classified intel that Maverick's father died while saving others. Upon hearing this, Maverick elects to stay and finish the course. However, during the graduation party, Maverick and Iceman are ordered back to the Enterprise, which is being deployed to provide assistance to a communication ship that has drifted into hostile waters. Maverick is assigned to back up Iceman, who still doubts Maverick's state of mind. While the others take off correctly, Maverick's launch is hindered by mechanical failure, and he is soon outnumbered by the Russian MiGs. He nearly retreats when he faces a similar situation to when Goose died, but snaps out of it at the last second and rejoins Iceman, shooting down several of the enemy MiGs. Returning triumphantly to the Enterprise, Maverick is offered any assignment he wants, and he chooses to return to Top Gun and become an instructor. The film ends with Maverick sitting alone in a bar in San Diego when You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin' plays on the jukebox. As he thinks of him and Charlie, she enters the room and they reunite once again. Released on May 16, 1986, Top Gun went on to become the highest grossing movie of 1986, beating out Crocodile Dundee and Platoon. By the end of its theatrical run, Top Gun earned over $353 million, nearly 25 times its original budget. The film won several major awards, including Oscars for Best Music and Sound and a Golden Globe for Best Original Score. The popularity of the film not only generated massive bank for Hollywood, but helped the U.S. Navy as well. The film drove up enlistments of new recruits by nearly 500% during its run. Another well-loved aspect of the film is its soundtrack. The Top Gun soundtrack, one of the most popular soundtracks of all time, included such hits as the aforementioned You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin' by the Righteous Brothers, Take My Breath Away by Berlin, and what many consider the film's unofficial theme song, Danger Zone, as sung by the king of 80s soundtracks, Kenny Loggins. Top Gun is still popular amongst moviegoers the world over. So much so, the film is now being prepped for a 3D conversion and is on track to be released in 2012. And that's not all, as Tom Cruise recently revealed in an interview that a long-awaited sequel is in the works and that he is in talks to reprise his iconic role of Maverick. Top Gun is a movie that sticks with you no matter how long ago you first saw it. It's one of those classic 80s movies that has something for everyone. Whether you like characters or the good soundtrack, or even if you just love the adrenaline rush of watching a great action film, Anyone can find something to love here. And as always, if you've never seen this movie, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, seriously, those people actually exist. This has been Just the Facts Top Gun. I'm JT from Saskatoon. Back to you guys.
Just doesn't seem fair. For you, I mean. But, she's lost that love and feeling.
She's like, no, she hasn't.
Yes, she has.
She has not lost that love.
Goose, she's lost it.
Matt, come on. I hate it when she does that.
Excuse me, miss.
Hey. Don't worry, I'll take care of this.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips.
There's no tenderness like before in your fingertips.
You're trying hard not to show it, baby. But baby, believe me, I know that you've lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You've lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Whoa, whoa,
Sit down.
baby, I'll get down on my knees for you.
I love that song. I've never seen that approach. How long have you two been doing this act?
Oh, I don't know. Since,
Puberty?
Right, puberty.
I'm Charlotte Blackwood.
I'm Maverick.
Maverick? Does your mother not like you or something?
No, it's my call sign.
You're a pilot.
That's right, a naval aviator.
Thank you, JT, for those Just the Facts. Yes, I love this movie. This movie is freaking awesome.
Who doesn't love this movie, really?
Anyone who doesn't love this movie ought to be shot.
They're communists. They just don't like seeing MiGs.
Communism was a red herring. Sorry, I still have Clue on the brain from last episode. Oh man, this movie is... Anyone who likes aviation and flight and you know, naval flights and all that stuff is going to love this movie. I cannot believe this thing is PG.
Well, they did have the finger being flipped, and there were some bedroom scenes there that obviously everything was well concealed.
That's why I'm saying I cannot believe it's PG.
You think it's PG-13?
I would think it would have been PG-13 or R. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even think we had PG-13 in 86.
No, I think when the PG-13 brought out because of Temple of Doom.
I don't
I
remember.
have to look that up, but yeah, this might have been before PG-13.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, this movie isn't that bad to the point where it needs an R, but I still cannot believe. I mean, there are some, and I've said this before on Movie Week in Review. There are some films that we've reviewed. I've gone back and I've looked at the rating. I'm like, I can't believe that that's rated R. It's like everybody under the sun loves RoboCop, and I do too. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying everybody under the sun loves that. I remember watching that as a child. That movie is rated R.
Yes, it is.
But
and actually, Red Dawn was the first PG-13 movie. I stand mistaken.
Huh.
I stand corrected, actually.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
Yes,
you stand
exactly.
for something, but you'll fall for anything.
Yes, exactly.
You'll
not
fall for
not
any,
Kelly
you'll,
McGillis.
You'll fall for any.
Not Kelly McGillis.
6 shit.
Yeah, but in terms of aviator movies at this time, before the only other movie I could think of was The Final Countdown, which we've talked about actually on What's on Your Mind a couple times, is when the Nimitz goes back in time and they're going to go up against the Japanese Navy and try to prevent Pearl Harbor, and then the time warp comes and sucks them back in, and it's kind of one of those weird sci-fi B-flick movies.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. There really hasn't been any up to this point in 86.
And then since then, I think possibly Iron Eagle might have been the best swipe at it, and that was horrible as it was, except it had a decent, and I say decent,
fairly decent
soundtrack. But there's really, I mean, what was that horrible Nick Cage, Firebirds? Oh, with the helicopters. Oh, yeah, that was pretty bad too.
No,
so. There's not been a really good aviation movie, so the fact that this is going to come out.
Tried to do it back in 2000.
Oh, Stealth, yeah, I forgot about that.
Tried to do it. It tried to be a good aviation movie, but it just failed with the actors that it had in it.
Well, and those of us that really care about realism know that there's no stealth fighters being launched off a deck of an aircraft carrier.
That's true.
So
that's true. I guess you could make an argument for Broken Arrow, but that really only had like one aviation scene in it.
And that was a stealth bomber. Yeah, and that was kind of over the desert done.
Yeah. Yep. But no, I mean, before this, it was, you had DeLoreans and you had Millennium Falcons and everything else. It was either car-based or space-based. You didn't really have an actual flight simulator movie, I guess you could call it.
Well, let's just say definitely a big, well-known one. I still, that Final Countdown's out there, but it's not widely known. Let's put it that way. So,
yeah. I love everything about this movie. I don't know if you asked me to pick a favorite scene, I don't know what I could pick because I love everything about this movie. And it surprises me about the cast in this movie. This was a top tier cast. Not just Tom Cruise, not just Kelly McGillis, but
Val was kind of new. Anthony
Val
Edwards
was kind of new, but Val would then later go on to...
Are you going to make fun of him playing Batman?
Batsuit fame.
I think Anthony Edwards just got off of Revenge of the Nerds not too long before this.
Yeah.
Tom Skerritt, Michael Ironside, of course, he's a good guy in this one. I mean, he's better known as the villain over in Total Recall. Meg Ryan, kind of before she hit it big, and James Tolkien, which is Slacker.
Yeah,
McFly. This is kind of here's one of his first main roles. So.
He's in the dude's in everything. He was in Back to the Future. He's in this. He'll be in Masters of the Universe as
Will let that slide.
Lubbock, the cop Lubbock.
Yeah.
I mean, he just shows up in the weirdest places, and every place that he shows up, it's such a different role. Yes, I mean, once you hear his voice, McFly, you're such a slacker. You know that, but just seeing him in different roles, it's so unique. From going from Strickland to the role he plays in this to the Masters of the Universe role, it's so varied, and I just love it. I mean, the entire cast is great. There's people. Anthony Edwards. This is before Anthony Edwards was a famous doctor on television.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, I seriously doubt his character on ER would be singing Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, he's only 2 years removed from Revenge of the Nerds and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, so he was still kind of that, almost kind of, this broke him from that, even though he did have another Revenge of the Nerds movie the next year he was in, but I think he was only played a bit role in it, but it kind of broke him from that high school nerdy type guy into, kind of a comic book jet-setting hero.
Yeah, you also got Tim Robbins as Merlin.
Yep, Tim Robbins, before he went all environmental on us.
Environmental. Well, I was going to say before his years at Shawshank, but...
Well, isn't that also known as Susan Sarandon?
Yeah, I believe. So, let's see, who else is in this? You said Meg Ryan. The other one that I really recognize is Clarence Gilliard Jr.
Yes, from Texas Ranger, right?
Yep, James Trevette. However, this, I believe, I looked Clarence up, and I believe this was his actual first major debut. Because the next time you would see him in this in film chronologically after this was Theo in Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah. He's cool.
Terrorist that did not die.
Yeah. he got punched out by the little limo driver. That's right.
Yep. But no, I mean, this is just a stellar cast.
And as JT said, this was a boon for the Navy. everybody wanted to be a fighter pilot. I remember in school, everyone's, I got to join a Navy and be a fighter pilot. I mean, kids half blind wearing Coke bottle glasses. I want to be a fighter pilot. It's like, no, you're not going to be a fighter pilot. Neither am I. It's still pretty cool. And wow, I mean, and then, of course, at the time, the Sky Striker just came out with G.I. Joe, and everyone immediately replaced Ace, who looked like an astronaut. Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is now Maverick. And the backseater, we got Goose, or we got Merlin, or Sundowner, or whoever, you know, that had the backseat. And then you could actually, you had this full, you know, almost kind of scale F-14. You're flying around doing Top Gun, and you get tired of Top Gun, go back to G.I. Joe. So that was awesome that you actually had, I mean, the movie actually didn't come out with toys, but there was toys out there for the movie.
Yeah. Well, you know, G.I. Joe, they're army men. They're fully articulated army men. So, I mean, you know, there you go.
It's interesting with the new Sky Striker that's out now on the shelves. There's a place on the internet called Cobra Stickers, and they're actually selling an augment sticker sheet of Top Gun, so you can make your
sweet.
You can make your your F-14 look like, or say Maverick and Goose on the side.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. This movie was so great, and this was before Michael Bay decided to suck the military's dick. You know, this movie was done with class. This movie was done with just such awesomeness. And there are probably 3 Michael Bay films that I actually enjoy. The 2 Bad Boys films and Armageddon. Mm-hmm. And those are just his regular films. I'm not counting the Transformers stuff, because that's in a league all its own. Because as we all know, Michael Bay rapes giant metal bugs just like Starscream.
You Transformer fans are so bitter at your movies, I swear. But anyways,
back to Top Gun. Do you have a favorite scene, or do you have a favorite line or a favorite moment from this?
Well, I think, wasn't it Light the Fires and Kick the Tires? That actually was from Independence Day, wasn't it? I don't think it was from this movie, but of course you had the Need for Speed was obviously the line that came out of this. And then You've Lost That Loving Feeling. Everybody at every stinking wedding sings that thing now. I mean, it's right there. When you go to a wedding, you expect chicken dance and You Lost That Loving Feeling. I mean, where the hell that come from? I don't know. But my favorite scene is right off the bat. All of the carrier scenes and everything, and that 14 being shot off the deck of the Enterprise and doing a barrel roll. That scene actually is being parodied. I don't want to say it's really being parodied, but definitely going to be reused again for a Pixar movie that's called Planes coming out. I think it's 2013.
Yeah. And
it shows, planes being shot off a deck of the aircraft carrier in the Cars universe and doing the same type of barrel roll where you see the contrails kind of out beside it. The whole Top Gun theme playing with the guitar and everything at the beginning, and it kind of, you got the sun rising, you got the F-14s there strapped to the deck, and then you see them taxiing into position on the Cat, and then they light up the afterburners, and here comes the blast shield up, and the guy drops the command to set it up. All that stuff was awesome. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the movie itself was entirely forgettable. Certainly the volleyball scene, because I think all the females definitely like that one. That did nothing for me, but definitely the realism of the fact that the realism of the carrier deck is what I really liked.
The realism of the carrier deck, the realism of how they pulled off the aircraft combat, the dogfighting. That was just amazing filmmaking, especially for that time, because...
Well, Top Gun was real, and the aggressor squadrons were using either MiGs that were captured or similar planes, like the F-5E and F models, which is called a Tiger, and it was kind of an Air Force light training jet that didn't really see mainline action. So those obviously were in the movies as the MiG, quote unquote. And anybody that's a jet jockey or anything that likes about the military, like, those are not MiGs, But the F-14 going up against A4 Skyhawks should be a no contest in terms of the F-14, which should just fly over that thing and run circles around it, because it's a non-supersonic fighter. It's actually an attack fighter. But they made it work, and the special effects where the heads-up display was kind of... it works for that movie, but that's not what a heads-up display looks like at all.
Right? Yeah.
But it works for that movie. The shoot down scenes didn't really seem that fake in terms of the model being blown up.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them.
Yeah, very, very awesome. I'm trying to, just the whole story of Pete Mitchell and, living in his father's shadow and, trying to get out of that and just trying to be the best pilot he can be. And then, you've got him and Goose going to Top Gun and everything else. I don't know. It's a movie I can watch over and over again. It's such a great film.
It's almost timeless. And there's a couple things in the movie that date it. They're still using the USS Enterprise is still an aircraft carrier. They don't use the F-14 anymore. That's been actually retired, unless you're Iran and then you're still flying a couple F-14s, ironically. And then that Kawasaki Ninja 900. I mean, that was awesome back in the day. And then you're like, oh, look at the little scooter he's riding. How cute is that?
Where's T-Bob when you really need him? Oh, wait, sorry.
Still funny.
But no, the thing of it is, though, like, I don't know how they got, maybe you can shed some light on this. I don't know. I know it was a special effect, but the whole scene with the inverted planes, that was freaking awesome.
No way in real life that would happen. I can't imagine happening in real life at all.
No. No, but
the aerodynamics and the airflow over both of the jets would probably knock either one or both of them out of the sky. So
yeah, but just the way that they pull it off, as far as it being fiction in the film, was just so awesome.
They were actually back during the Cold War. The Bear bombers, the Russian Bear bombers, would make runs from their northern bases, which would be along the Bering Sea. And it's the same thing we would do with our B-52s. We would always have B-52s on alert, or this is back during the really cold days of the Cold War. And they would always have jets that would come up and intercept each other. And if you go look on Google and you could find some Russian intercept pictures, there's guys flipping each other the birds. There's one guy, an American fighter, that's holding up a Playboy showing the Russian bomber, what he has in his hand. There was actually instances like that where they would be, nonverbal communication, as they said. But in terms of being upside down, no. Not.
Yeah, no, that was a special effect. I'd if I had to pick a scene, I would have to probably say out of the fighting scenes, probably the dogfight at the end. That was really, really awesome. I like that. As far as like the funny scenes, I mean, the Great Balls of Fire scene is pretty cool. Just the fact that he has the balls to go in the women's restroom earlier. That was kind of cool. It's just an overall really great movie. I mean, it just is. I mean, there really isn't anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with this movie. Yes, as you said, there are a number of things that really date it, but
not too much. I mean, even the soundtrack is still pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Danger Zone from Kenny Loggins. That's great.
The Harold Faltermeyer guitar anthem is
the Top Gun anthem. Yeah. The Harold Faltermeyer thing for this was just amazing, and sadly, to this day, there is no soundtrack score for this film.
Well, hopefully with the 3D version coming out and maybe a possible sequel, as JT was saying, maybe that will change.
Yeah, I don't think this needs a 3D conversion.
No. And if it did, they can just call it A New Hope Episode 4. That's what the ending reminds me of, really, as you have Maverick jumping out of his F-14 and everyone's surrounding him and patting him on the back, just like Luke jumping out of an X-Wing. That scene is very similar in both cases. But no, this doesn't need a 3D. Definitely doesn't need 3D.
And as far as a sequel,
everything's getting a sequel these days.
I know.
And I think it's people just cashing in on the 80s, and that's okay. I mean,
it's true. It's very true. I mean, look what Transformers has done. Look what G.I. Joe is going to be doing. I I mean, next thing you know, we'll have a Mask movie.
That would be awesome. But if they're going to do a sequel, and I know nothing about I haven't seen a script, I haven't heard. I mean, it needs to be true to the Navy. You can't have F-14s in it. Obviously, it's been retired, so it's going to be F-18s, maybe the F-35 if that's in service by that time. But the Navy is really downsized what it uses for fighters. I mean, back when Top Gun came out, I mean, you had Intruders, you had Corsairs, the Hornets were starting to come out, you had the F-14s, you had some Phantoms still flying around out there. They had all these number of fighters that the Navy was still using. I mean, now you could pretty much just limit it to two. So it needs to be true to that, and hopefully, the whole aircraft carrier thing. And what's not cool about aircraft carrier? I mean, hell, look at the USS Flag. What's not cool about that? So.
I just find it really weird. I just find it really weird that, because I never paid attention to the name of the aircraft carrier in here. I find it weird that that's basically a Star Trek ship on water.
Well, the Enterprise is the first nuclear aircraft carrier, and it's the only one of its class. It actually came out about the same time. I think when the Enterprise was launched, it was launched about the same time that the original series was on TV, but it was not named after the Starship Enterprise. There was an Enterprise in World War II, which is actually one of the most decorated ships in the Navy during World War II that survived and actually lasted the entire war without obviously being sunk. That makes zero sense what I was just saying. But anyways, it was a naming of that. And then so far, then you had what ship was named after the Enterprise was actually the Space Shuttle Enterprise. That was a testing platform for the Space Shuttle program. That was named after the Starship Enterprise based upon a fan petition.
Yeah.
Not to go off subject.
No, I know. And, the other thing is that there was a news item a while ago, I think it was last year before Christmas, that Tom Cruise is in talks as of December 2011, Tom Cruise stated that a sequel is in the works, and that he was in talks to reprise his role. I think certain actors that were in it then, I mean, obviously Anthony Edwards can't come back. He died.
Yep.
I mean, you can't bring... It'd be like, if you want to do a whole Ghost of Starscream thing, sure, you can bring it back, but that would be really weird. You can bring back Meg Ryan. You could bring back Michael Ironside. You could probably bring back Tom Skerritt.
Yeah, what the hell is Ironside doing these days? Yeah, he'll definitely come back if that's the case.
Well, since then, he's done a bunch of other villain roles. I mean, he's the voice of Darkseid from the DC animated universe. I mean, he's done a bunch of... He was in Starship Troopers, if you really want to count that as a movie.
2 hours, I'll never get back. Man.
I think I just broke Gary's brain, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think the only person, and I'm sad to actually say this, I think the only person that they cannot bring back unless they... Because that's the problem is Tom Cruise still looks like he's 25 friggin' years old.
Yeah, I know where you're going, Kelly McGillis.
Well, I want to be respectful about this because McGillis has since retired from acting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on her Wikipedia page, and it's an image of her, and she's got all kinds of gray hair. She was born in 1957, so she's in her mid-50s. The next time, the only other time I've ever seen her was actually she reunited with Val Kilmer in 1999. They did a film called At First Sight. Val Kilmer, Mira Sorvino.
Saw her in Witness with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that, but like from Top Gun to at the time 1999 when At First Sight came out, she played Val Kilmer's sister in that movie, and I didn't recognize her at all. I mean, not even the voice. I didn't recognize anything. And then I had gone back and I had looked her up, and I'm like, oh really? Charlie was in a Val Kilmer movie in wow.
Do you remember her in the, what was that NBC film? So it was like one of those Sunday night films, that the tornado movie.
Oh yeah, I know. There's so many tornadoes.
That was horrible. But yeah, some people age well, some people don't. Sadly, she has not aged well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
not being mean, just being factual.
No, we're not trying to be disrespectful to
No.
her at all. It's just it's a fact of life. I don't think, unless they did something really unique with Charlie's character, I don't think you could have her in a Top Gun sequel because
no,
it just wouldn't work. I mean, Tom, like I said, Tom still looks like he's that young pilot. I mean, sure he's aged, but you know, I mean, look at him in the Mission Impossible franchise. He still looks like he just popped out of Top Gun. I mean, he's that's a whole other podcast.
It's all that Scientology.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have any Scientologists to listen to your show, you don't have them anymore.
I don't know. So we have a rating system here on MWire, 1 through 4. 1 is don't watch it even if it's free. 2 is worth a watch if it's free on TV. 3 is worth adding to the Netflix list. It's not actually on Netflix Instant right now. And 4 is this one is a must-add to your DVD collection. I'm giving it a 4 because I had it at one point. I actually just rented it from iTunes before we recorded this to rewatch it. So 1 to 4, what do you give it?
I can't disagree with you at all. It definitely deserves a 4. It's like we said, it's mostly timeless. It's a lot of fun. I think every time I see it on TV, I end up stopping watching it. So I can't argue with a 4.
Yeah. There were a couple of video games. I think they were really bad video games.
Yes. I love it.
I don't think we're going to be talking about those.
Oh. the Nintendo one, that used to piss me off all the time because you had to do mid-air refueling.
Yep.
And if you were just off, you were just screwed. Oh, but yeah, that I remember that one. There was a couple for the PC that were actually pretty good. But I don't think there was one that came out for the PlayStation 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you put that up against, like, let's say Tom Clancy's Hawk or Ace Combat, sorry, Top Gun.
It's just a cash grab, is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
So we are going to take a break. We're going to go to some ads and some other stuff, and we'll be back to close the show.
Is this thing on? Oh, goody. Why, hello there. It's your dear old Uncle Joker here. I bet you're asking yourself, what could I be possibly doing here of all places? Well, I'm laughing at the fact that this new podcast presented by Geekcast Radio is called Legends of the Dark Knight. Who the heck knew the Bat was so popular? Ugh. Join Steve, Mike, and sometimes Tara for reviews on the greatest DC animated universe cartoon to ever meet Gotham City. So join moi for the talk of the town, or I'll send Captain Clown after you. He gets mighty angry when he doesn't get to have his garbage skull. So put on a nice big smile and join us for the next Geekcast Radio Network podcast, Legends of the Dark Knight.
2012 marks the 30th anniversary for Masters of the Universe. We here at the GCRN are celebrating with a brand new series of podcasts. The Powers of Grayskull series will cover every episode of every MOTU cartoon. Yes, even that crappy New Adventure stuff. Join Optimus Solo and TFC1 Mike as they tell tales of Eternia, discover the myths of Etheria, become masters in space, and finally masters of Grayskull. You can find the Pogs podcasts in iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Good journey!
Hey guys, it's Optimus Solo from Geekcast Radio Network's The Telecast, coming to you with an important message about our Listener's Choice episode. That's right, for the first time in Geekcast Radio Network history, we are giving you, the listener, a chance to choose the topic in one of our shows. This is how you can cast your vote for what the topic should be. Head on over to geekcastradio.com and click on the Telecast tab at the top of the page. Once there, you can find our complete Season 1 schedule with all 35 episodes. Please look this over, because we would hate for you to cast your vote for a show that is already on our schedule. Once you've done this, just scroll to the section titled Listener's Choice and click on the Comments button. All that's left for you to do now is to cast your vote through a comment. For example, you might say, "Hey, I see that Nick Arcade is not in your Season 1 lineup, so I'd like to cast a vote for Nick Arcade to be the Listener's Choice episode." It's that simple, so please go cast your vote for your favorite show, and stay tuned for episode 34 to see which show becomes our very first Listener's Choice. That does it for now. This has been Optimus Solo from The Telecast.
Behold, Tooncast Beyond. What better way to follow up the GCRN's most popular podcast than to take it beyond? If you listen to Tooncast Classic, Toon Beyond takes it to the next level. We are covering cartoons in seasons. Join TFG and Mike, Steve Megatron, and a bunch of other hosts as we cover all kinds of cartoons from 2000 to whenever now is. You can find Tooncast Beyond in iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Tune in. Grab your helmets because it's time to assemble Mask. Coming April 10th, 2012, the Geekcast Radio Network launches Masked Mayhem with your hosts Optimus Solo and TFG and Mike. This podcast, covering all 75 episodes of Mask, will feature in-depth analysis of every episode, talk on the toys, and more. Masked Mayhem will run 30 podcast episodes. You can find us in iTunes and on www.geekcastradio.com. Get your spectrums ready, as podcasting is the ultimate weapon.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register.
So we are back. There you have it, folks. Top Gun. I did mean to mention that it is on home media, obviously. You can get it through iTunes. You can probably get it through Amazon Digital Download. It's on DVD. I believe when I had it on DVD, there is a 2-disc special, like some sort of special edition, anniversary edition, that has a whole bunch of bonus features. So yeah,
that's cool behind-the-scenes stories that they talked about, especially working with the military.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
The time when they needed the Enterprise to turn around, and they ended up the studio wrote a check right there on the spot so the Enterprise would turn around so they could refilm the scene. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, definitely the 2-disc. That's the one you want to get.
Thank you for joining us here on MWire. There's so ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, and leave the show's feedback in iTunes as well. You can follow us on Twitter. The show name there is GCRN MWire. Mine is TFG and Mike. What is your Twitter?
I am at Gary Godso, GaryGodsoe, and you can find the rest of our cast for What's on Joe Mind at our Podbean page, whatsonjoemind.podbean.com, and you can add Justin, Beachhead, Mike, myself, and Chuck, and you can keep up to date with the latest everything that's going on with G.I. Joe, especially in this nice year that we got a movie coming.
It's the only reason why the toys are selling is because it's a movie year.
Sure.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Geekcast Radio Network. You can also search out What's on Joe Mind over there on Facebook as well. Yep. They have their own fan page. Yep. We hope you enjoyed this episode of MWire and wish you'll join us next time when we will be continuing the 80s spotlight with The Untouchables.
Yeehaw.
Wow. For now, I am TFG and Mike with
Commander-in-Chief Gary Gatso.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Take care, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
They gave you your choice of duty, son. Anything, anywhere. Do you believe that shit? Where do you think you want to go?
I thought of being an instructor, sir.
Top Gun?
Yes, sir.
God help us.
In a world, there, I said it, happy,